Good evening. So this is Carrie from Sister Roots Farm in Zone 8A, Alabama, and it is July 20th. I had to think about it for a moment. And today, or this evening, what I'm about to do is I am about to start some of my fall seeds. And if you've been watching my videos, you should know by now that I like to do these videos in parts. And that's more so of a reminder for myself when it comes to the things that I want to discuss. So that's more of the reason I say in parts. But as I have often said, take from these videos what you will, what is useful for you. So the first thing I want to do is I want to discuss, so part one, the seeds that we will be growing for fall. So there will be a combination of veggies. I'm still going to try another round of fruit, some herbs, and of course flowers. So I have the seeds I plan on starting today in my little photo case that I have in my little storage container that I store my seeds in. And I've mentioned this container before. It's just one of these photo keepers that I bought from Hobby Lobby, but you can get them from what I've heard, Amazon. So whatever the source may be that works for you, if you're interested in that, it has worked for me with the seasons of gardening that I have been in, and so I haven't wanted to change yet. All right, so some things that we will be growing. So let's start with flowers first. So first, we will be growing some zinnias. I am excited to say that my order from Johnny's Selected Seeds came in today. And so I have several seed packets in here. However, I won't be starting all of them. From this in particular, I will be starting the Bennery's Giant Mix. So that is a zinnia variety that they have. And then I will also be starting sunflowers. So I will be starting the hybrid single stem sunflower. They're Pro Cut Orange. I will be starting those. And then I will also start some of my other ones that I already have. So this is the American Seed Sunflower Mixed Colors. And so this one has been really pretty in my garden. And I'm so excited for this color for the fall. And then I will also be starting the Ferry Morse Chocolate Cherry. Now, I don't believe I've had one of these bloom yet, but I am excited to say that I did germinate some from seed. They did sprout. But even though I haven't been as consistent as I need to be on YouTube, I have posted some pictures on TikTok highlighting some views from the garden, different things that are happening, and I may have captured one of these, but I don't think I have. So we're gonna try this one again. And of course, I'll link all the different varieties in the description of this video. My favorite French dwarf marigolds, and the reason I like to do these is because they're supposed to be good with helping with pests in the garden. And so I have the American Seed brand as well as the Ferry Morse brand, but they're all the same, the French double dwarf marigold. The other thing is calendula. I will be starting those. They're supposed to be good for pests too. This is the Ferry Morse brand here. Then we have nasturtiums. Now the thing is with nasturtiums, the last time I started some, I did do the soaking of the seeds. So I probably won't start these today. It will probably be tomorrow. So I can soak them for about over 24 hours. The reason you want to soak them is because they have this hard shell on them. Now I've also read that you can like nick them or file them, but I really don't want to have to go through that. So those are the nasturtium seeds. So I'll just soak those and then I can just start them tomorrow. Now on to herbs. So we will start some basil. I have had success in the past with starting basil. This is the American Seed Sweet Italian. And then we have cilantro, slow bolting. This is the Back to the Roots brand. I've had success in the past with cilantro. Now, what I have not had success with is watermelon. And I know it's about to be too late in the season, but I still want to try anyway. What has happened is they've germinated for me. I've had some to grow on the vine, and then I don't know if it was because of the heat wave that we had, but all of my plants seem to have died. So I'm gonna try some more of these. Now, the cantaloupe and honeydew melon, they present a different story. So their vines and leaves and flowers survive through the heat wave, but I don't have any fruit. So this is my first time trying to grow cantaloupe as well as honeydew melon, so I'm not sure what to expect. Now, even though I keep saying cantaloupe and honeydew melon, I'm only gonna try cantaloupe this time around and watermelon. And so they're both the American Seed brand, and you have the Hell's Best and then the Sugar Baby. But again, in case I forgot to mention a variety, I will have them listed in my description. My favorite to grow, which is lettuce. Now I'm gonna do black seeded Simpson. That's my favorite. Same variety, just two different brands. You have the American Seed and you have the Burpee Organics. And then I'm going to grow some Butter Crunch, and this is the Ferry Morse brand. Of course, we want some green beans in the garden because they can help with nitrogen. Now, I have not grown these Tendergreen garden beans before, but it says that they are a bush snap variety. So I'm gonna try and see. Swiss chard. This is an American Seed brand here. And I have had success with growing Swiss chard in the past. This is the mixed colors variety. So Swiss chard. We have some Dwarf Blue Curl Kale, the Ferry Morse brand. And I've had success growing this too. This actually grew really well. My issue was I didn't harvest it like I was supposed to. And then the final thing is these National Pickling cucumbers. Now, and this is the Ferry Morse brand. Now, I am excited to say that my cucumbers have done way better than they've done in the past. And I've highlighted that in some of my pictures, I know for sure, on TikTok and Instagram. But I don't know if I've provided an updated video on them in my garden, but they have done really well. And so those are all the things that we are going to start today, aside from the nasturtium. Now, some other things that I want to highlight. Oh, and I forgot to mention this too. I forgot these. Cabbage, Early Golden Acre. This is the Ferry Morse brand. We have the Florida Broadleaf Mustard Green. We'll be growing those. And then we will be growing the 7 Top Turnip greens. We'll be growing those. I forgot something. I forgot that we will be growing collard greens too. I forgot to mention those. The turnips and mustards are more so for my grandmother because she loves those. I myself tend to favor collards. And I've had some success, much success, with growing these Burpee, Georgia collard greens. So we'll be growing those. I forgot to add those to the list. Okay. So that is an update on all the seeds that we will be growing. Now, part 2, I just want to give you just some info on how we're going to start the seeds. So in the past, what I've tried different things from seed starting mix, like the Back to the Root seed starting mix. I believe I've tried some different things with I know Back to the Roots for sure. I can't remember the name of the other one. Either way, what has seemed to work has been the cocoa core for me. When it comes to the seed started mixes that you can buy, they still tend to have like the chunks and stuff in them. And then for some reason my seeds seem to have dried out just a little bit more with the seed starting mix. Now don't get me wrong, they can still dry out with the cocoa core, but it seems like they dry out more with the seed starting mix. So take with that what you will. So cocoa core, so I bought that from Walmart. That is the Burpee brand that I got. Another thing I will be mixing in is perlite. So that is the Miracle Grow brand. And then the bag is too heavy for me to carry over, but I have some mushroom compost. But the type will be in the description for you to check out. Now, this is the part that's going to be different for me. I typically mix in worm castings. However, I got this book from my local library, The Compact Garden, and so I've been following their journey for a while, and their garden is beautiful. And so they mentioned in their book the superfood soil mix, and so they do equal parts of cocoa core, perlite, and compost. And so whereas I've done the cocoa core and the perlite, I haven't done the compost. I usually do worm castings. So this go around, I'm going to try to compost and see what happens. And you know, over here I learn as I grow, and we'll just see what happens. Okay, the only part that I had missed out was the how much they had put. So they do equal parts, so that means I'm going to have to get maybe if we're doing equal parts, it's going to be almost all or half of this bag and a good amount of the compost. So I'm going to have to mix it in a large container, because usually what I do is I let the cocoa core soak in one of my, I believe this is a 10-20 tray from Bootstrap Farmer. I can't remember right off, and it's wet because I've rinsed it out. But I usually let it soak in here in water, and I actually have it right here, but it's kind of heavy and I don't want to drop it. But this is my cocoa core, and it has been soaking. And so as you can see, I don't have any room left to do equal parts. So I'm going to have to find a large enough container where I can mix everything in. And I think I have one on the inside. So that is part 2 of everything. And part 3 will just be showing you what everything looks like once I have them in these 6 seed cell trays. So my process that I use is I have my cell trays numbered, and that's how I'm able to keep up with what is growing in what. The great thing too is, since I've been gardening for a few seasons now, I'm able to recognize, even if I don't really remember, if I don't want to go back to the number, once something starts germinating and growing, I'm able to recognize from the seeds what I have in the trays. So that is exciting for me. So what our plan is, and for our plan, I am using my Learning as You Grow planner, or tracker, not planner. It's the Learning as You Grow tracker, and I am using the fall and winter tracker because I'm prepping for my fall garden. And so my plan, I have my growing notes here, and if you can see it, it has seed starting mix, and then I have planned out the seeds that I plan to grow, like the number of cells I plan to start and all of that. So that's what I'm about to do. So stay tuned for part 3. So this is the part 3. This is the final of everything. So we have our flowers. In this one, we have a mixture of herbs, flowers. We have some watermelon and cantaloupe in the bigger purple ones. And then over here, we have the veggies that we discussed. And so as you can see, I've topped everything with some vermiculite. I had just enough left to top everything with the vermiculite. Now I did make a few changes to some of the things that I'm growing. Like the lettuce, for instance, I'm still growing 2 different varieties. So the Butter Crunch and the Black Seeded Simpson. But I had said I was going to do like 2 different Black Seeded Simpson, but I opted just to do one. And then I added some coneflowers in here. That was not in the list. And so I had some, at first I was going to do extra basil and cilantro, but I didn't want to go overboard with that. So I opted to do some coneflower because I haven't been successful with growing coneflower yet. And so I opted to do some of those. And then the other changes, and you see I have to update my notes here. The other changes that I made was to the, let's see, that may have been it. Oh, for my turnip greens, so I did turnips, mustard greens, as well as collard greens. So I just had to make sure that I wrote those notes down. And then I have the notes for the different varieties of sunflowers that I'm growing, as well as the zinnias, those different varieties. And I even have some notes down here. I almost talked myself out of growing the cosmos. I was like, okay, I'll just put coneflower there. But then I realized I really enjoy, or I have enjoyed, growing the cosmos, even though they may not be blooming like I want them to, but that may be user error myself in regards to growing them and not the seeds themselves, because they have grown really tall, but some of them have bloomed and some have not, and I think you have to cut those frequently. I'm still learning about those. However, like I was saying, lettuce, 2 varieties of those, and then I think that is it. So that is the official part 3. As I said, in the green we have flowers here, so everything is covered with the vermiculite. We have a mixture of some additional flowers, some herbs here, and then we have the watermelon and honeydew melon. And then I had some extra mixture left over, so I did another line of watermelon here, and then over here is the veggies. And so this is the container that I mixed everything in, and its size is, this is a 27 quart. And so I did my best to do equal parts of the cocoa coir. So that was 1 block of cocoa coir. I mixed in the perlite, and I mixed in the mushroom compost, which is way over there by my garden. But everything will be linked in the description. So I will keep you updated on how everything germinates. And so as you can hear, the little nighttime bugs are getting ready to settle in. So I'm going to go ahead and take these inside and put them under the humidity domes and under the light, so that they can start that process in the morning at 6 a.m. And so I will keep you updated on how everything germinates. All right, thank you for following along. Chat with you soon.